What up, Sauce Gang, and welcome back to the channel. Hot Sauce Beats here with a very special guest.
CurtisBeard in the building. What's up?
That is right, fam. CurtisBeard is here with me today, and he's gonna be doing a collab reaction with me. And he's gonna be reacting to Game Theory for the very first time today.
Yes, and I'm pretty excited to see what's up.
And because Game Theory just dropped a brand new video called Your Memories Are Corrupted, RANBOO Generation Loss. We are both massive fans of RANBOO, and RANBOO has recently started this kind of like 80s themed spoopy ARG called Generation Loss. I don't know much about it. Do you know much about it?
Nope, not at all.
So we're about to change that and learn a lot more. But fam, before we jump into this, make sure you show Matt Pat over at Game Theory some love by subscribing to his channel. And if you enjoy my and CurtisBeard's reaction, please hit that smash and like button. But enough talking, let's get to reacting and roll that bomb ass intro.
Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Eat, sleep, make beats. Eat, sleep, make beats.
Hot sauce boots.
Oh, CB Family Sauce Gang collaboration. Let's go.
Let's go.
Now, like I said, I don't know much at all about this dude. I just know it's spoopy.
Don't settle,
Final Theory.
Ooh, I like that. Do the research.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the only show that can make a
Theory.
15-minute video from 28 seconds of content. Actually, judging based on the length of the script, I'm gonna predict it's gonna be more, let's see, 18 and a half minutes? Best guess. And you know what? That's not an exaggeration either. Today's topic has only 28 seconds
almost
of
a quarter-
content currently available as I write this. That's gotta be a new record for us, right? Theory on the least information possible. But remember, it's quality over quantity.
Dude, he wasn't capping. Legit 30 seconds of content, and he's making a 17-minute video on it. And I just stuttered like 5 times there, but it's okay. All right, so let's see how far we can stretch 30 seconds of content. 17 minutes. But then our reaction, so we can probably stretch this video at least 30 minutes.
What's your guess? Before
How long our reaction's gonna
I'm
be?
gonna guess like 24, 25. What do you think?
23. I'm just gonna go one under.
23?
23. Let's go.
And you can do a lot in 28 seconds, which is exactly what
she
we're
said.
about to find out. But first, a bit of backstory. As you're all well aware of by now, there have been a lot of content creators, both big and small, that have been inspired to make their own ARGs over the
Wilbur.
years. And recently, a new challenger appeared. Someone that
Dude, he even covered Wilbur's ARG, and he didn't even show it there. I'm kind of shocked about that.
you may be familiar with. Let me give you a hint.
Maybe.
He's a Minecrafter. He's one of the massive creators from the Dream SMP. He wears glasses, and he's rocking an iconic Gen Z haircut. I'm talking, of course, about... No, Wilbur, no! Bad Wilbur,
There's
no!
Wilbur.
It's not about you.
I'm like,
Get
where's
out of here,
Wilbur at, bro?
Not every Minecrafter-led ARG is about you and your weird acoustic guitar songs. Get out of here!
Dude, we love Lovejoy here, dude.
I'm about to say, hey, you can't even say that, bro.
We love you,
Hard.
Lovejoy. I love the love though that he's giving them.
Yeah.
No, today's theory is about RANBOO.
Hi, I'm RANBOO.
RANBOO. Glad I decided to look that one up. And his new series, Generation Loss. Now,
He goes by RANBOO or RANBOO.
RANBOO, yeah.
He accepts. What do you say?
Well, I used to say RANBOO at first, and then people were saying RANBOO, but it's either way now.
I say RANBOO.
Yeah,
RANBOO
I say
just
RANBOO.
I don't know. I don't like the ah sound. I like ah. RANBOO.
Yeah, I do. I say RANBOO.
seeing RANBOO take on an ARG shouldn't be that big of a surprise to anyone familiar with his work over on the Dream SMP. Once he joined the server,
Very
he
true.
quickly became a fan favorite thanks to his clever backstory involving memory loss, memory journals, and his immediately iconic Ender Walks, where his Enderman half takes over his body temporarily. He even launched an entire ARG focusing around Ender Walking back in early 2021. Looking back on it, you guys actually
Did I
hit me
know
up a
that?
fair bit on Twitter to cover it. Follow me
know if I
at
knew that.
MattPatGT, by the way, if you want to do that. Even though I tend not to respond, I'm always looking at the stuff you send because, well,
Way to
you
plug
have
your
great
Twitter
ideas.
there.
I
That's
guess things
good.
we didn't wind up doing it
Right.
because why didn't I?
My
Hold
my
on,
Twitter's
I wanna-
at Hot Sauce Beats. What's your Twitter?
CurtisBeard. Also, we need more RANBOO lore. Just saying.
I also second that opinion. Thank you, Curtis.
End up doing it. What was I
agree with
doing
that.
back then? I mean, I know we were busy because we were starting St. Jude planning, but what was it? I was apparently busy talking about the KFC console, GameStop stock, and Logan Paul. So instead of covering a Minecraft ARG coming out of the most popular thing in gaming at the time, I covered the stock market and YouTuber boxing.
Not a great plan.
Yeah, choices were made. But
Thank
hey,
you,
at least
Iron
the
Man.
KFC episode won us a streamy. Needless to say, RANBOO is well versed in cryptic storytelling and ARGs. And unlike our coverage of the Wilbur Soot ARG, we're not 3 years late this time. Right now, there's only one video available.
I know,
released
right?
about a
On
month
himself.
ago. For once, we are on the cutting edge. So strap in, theorists, because we're about to
excited.
go down
Like I
a
said, I
rabbit
haven't
hole
seen
of
this
government
yet.
conspiracy, media control, and manipulation of the mind. All in 28 seconds.
At least we know how long it is.
Interrupt
He
your
said it like
regularly
5 times.
scheduled theory for an important announcement. Again, this is not a test. New
an ad
theoryware
read.
is available now. The Conspiracy Collection. Do you have a theory? Let people know with this, the Skywatchers t-shirt. Do you have a love for
I have a
emergency
theory.
alerts just like this one? Wear one on your chest with this super soft raglan. Want
Nice
both
merch.
of them together? Save money by buying the Conspira T bundle. Yes, we are very proud
Get the
of
bundle,
that pun.
chat.
Or you can control the airwaves for yourself with our emergency
Oh, yeah, look at
alert.
that.
Use
That's
the
cool, that's cool. I
airwaves
like
to
the
spread your
barcode
own
inside.
message. The message
Yeah,
of I
that's
look
nice, hoodie.
and feel great.
Oh, and
also,
it feels
you
great,
notice
so
that
it's a
zipper
double win.
pocket detail here on the
Ooh,
sleeve and the
ooh,
green
zipper
strap with a
pocket.
D-ring on the pocket? Yep, definitely requested those as part of the design myself. I think it adds
That's
like
cool,
a
that's
little
cool.
extra
That actually
style.
is pretty
proud of
baller,
them.
dude.
And this is your final warning that our alien goo lava lamp is nearly sold out. There's only 100 left of the 2,000 that we
Now, is there
produced.
100
So
or is
grab
there like
yours today
98?
before you miss
I
the
wanna know the
chance. Head on
specifics.
over to theoryware.com to become part of the conspiracy today. We now rejoin your regularly scheduled programming already in progress.
why
Although the
video's
first
long.
video of
I know,
Generation
right?
Lost was
A lot of
just
plugins.
posted
Come
on
on,
May
we got
1st of
Twitter,
2022,
come on,
it was
bro.
first announced by RANBOO all the way back in July of 2021
announced this
with
a while
two
ago.
potential names. As he said on his Discord, quote, currently thinking about two titles, Generation Loss or The Lost Field Incident #1. Obviously, he went with the first option, but remember the second one. That's going to come into play later. Now, why would the title be important? What exactly is meant by Generation Loss? Well, basically, Generation Loss is the loss of quality that happens each time something gets copied. Think about it like making Xerox copies at a copy machine. The first one is pretty clear, but if you make a copy of the copy, the quality devolves. If you continue to make more and more copies, more and more details get lost and things start to degrade. And this seems to be the exact definition that RANBOO intended. As he clarified again on his Discord, quote, basically, you know how VHS tapes never
This
record
isn't
the
a
original
Rickroll.
footage super correctly? There are always slight impurities in each recording and copy. What Generation Loss is when each imperfection is exaggerated with each new copy until you get some really cool distortion effects, end quote. For a great example, here's a Nesquik commercial in its first generation copy, and here it is 9 generations later. Nothing changed, it was just a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. But you
Oh,
see
that's
how
spoopy, though.
information gets lost and distorted over time. Also, it was today o'clock when I realized that I am truly the granddad of YouTube. I bet so many of you are only familiar with VHS tape effects in YouTube videos or indie horror games at the
You remember VHS though, right?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
yeah.
Hunchback Notre Dame, Pocahontas, all the fancy, iconic movies.
Yeah. I remember, so before like DVR,
Yeah.
you used to have to set your timer on your VCR to record something, and it
Right.
had to be set to that channel. No one could adjust the channel on there, because if they did, it wouldn't record, and then you missed your show.
Yeah. But if you record it,
Then you were golden.
Yeah.
And then you had it on that tape, and then you felt like a baller. You know,
yeah.
"Oh, I got this on VHS.
this point. Man, I'm old. Anyway, based on the name alone, we know that this series is going to focus on the idea of degradation of information over time. The more something is copied and passed on, the more distorted and messed up it gets.
that
Gotta
game
say,
where
we're
you say
already off to an
something,
intriguing start, and
like
we haven't
you
even
say
watched
it,
the
and
video
then you
yet,
repeat it,
which
someone else,
means
they
it's
repeat it.
about time to do just that.
Telephone,
As the
yeah,
video
yeah.
begins,
It's
we
like
see an old CRT TV displaying static until words begin to flash. Don't hide, don't escape, don't talk, don't conform, don't hesitate. We then get 5 censored images that flash past the screen multiple times in rapid succession before devolving back into static with the final lines, learn the history, find the founder. The word kill flashes up briefly over the word find to give us
founder?
the alternate text of kill the founder. It's short, but it's dense, which is exactly the way to kick off something like this. So let's figure out what's going on, starting with the 5 mysterious images. In the second image, we can see a large room with the Generation Lost symbol in red on the back wall. A number of people with blacked out faces sit at desks around the room, and one person has a red square blocking blocking their face.
the
The fact
founder?
that both the square and the symbol are in red when everything else we see is in black and white is telling us that there's a connection between these two things. It seems to suggest that the person with their face covered in red is working for whatever generation loss is, in which case I needed to see who is behind that big red block. So I started reverse image searching and found that this is a photo from the University of Leipzig in Germany.
Bro, see, dude, okay, so just give you a heads up, right? So this is what MatPat does. He has a whole team, and they just, like, wave their, Harry Potter magic wands, and, again, like, they just found this, dude. I mean, this is crazy, bro. So he's literally about to... Is that Hitler? Is that Adolf?
Ooh.
That looks like Adolf, don't it? Kind of? Isn't that like an Adolf stash? I don't know.
No, it is, yeah.
Okay.
The mustache.
The University of Leipzig. Oh, wait, is that Germany? That sounds... Isn't Leipzig? Leipzig?
Leipzig? Did I say that right?
I don't know if I said it right. I'm not German.
Leipzig?
Leipzig?
More specifically, it's the very first dedicated psychology lab founded in 1879 by the father of experimental psychology, Wilhelm Wundt. I have to admit, I wasn't able to
that's
figure out
very
who exactly
German,
the
bro.
man with his face blocked out in red was, but that's not really surprising. It's a university lab. Wundt would have had many students come and go through the years. Some of his students did go on to become psychologists in their own right, but I couldn't trace any of them back to the specific image. The good news is, though, I'm not exactly sure it matters who the person is. It's actually about the fact that this person is studying under Wilhelm Wundt in the first place. One of Wundt's big studies was on the idea of generation effects on memory.
So it's about one of
We
his
might be on the
pupils?
right track. Generation effects are, quote, the advantage in memory for information that's produced, i.e. generated, by the participant as opposed to another person. Basically the idea that if you form your own idea or memory, you're more likely to remember it accurately as opposed to a memory made by someone else and then told to you.
mean,
Lines
yeah,
up pretty
it's
darn
kinda, like,
nicely
obvious,
with the theme of the
right?
series,
Yeah.
generation loss, the distortion of memory across time. It also begins to connect the dots when it comes to the text at the end of the
That makes sense. That's just like anything with history, right? Like
Yeah.
history class, like it's not something you experience, it's something you were taught. So of course you're gonna, because essentially you're just learning it from whoever taught. So that's what you're gonna believe, not the event itself.
Right.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
So what is the event that we're learning? This
video,
Van
learn
Hoot
the history.
in
Maybe
Leipzig?
people are forgetting the real history of this world, instead only remembering what they've been told, a distorted version of the truth. Generation over generation, history is being forgotten, therefore generation loss. That may seem like I'm clutching at straws for an answer, but the fourth picture ties into the narrative too. It's a picture of a classroom from the 1940s with the generation loss symbol on the chalkboard, and the teacher's face blocked out in red, similar to the last image. I reverse image searched again, and it led me to Getty Images, and Getty wasn't giving me a whole lot of information about this photo other than it's a London classroom from 1947. So I kept digging around for uses of the image. Not a whole lot. I actually struggled to find this image anywhere across the internet except for one article from a liberal news site in the United Kingdom called The Independent. But what's more important is the subject of the article. Parents complaining about a new curriculum being
hold on a second. I just gotta see something because
You see, it didn't block out.
I may sound like an old fart, but I think they're wrong. 100 eminent educationalists have written to the Independent to complain about the new national curriculum. May sound like an old fart. What were you saying, bud?
The head's not blocked anymore with this picture.
Yep. And also, yeah, that generation loss symbol isn't on there.
subject of the article. Parents complaining about a new curriculum being implemented into UK schools, one specifically focused on rote memorization of facts rather than critical thinking and problem solving. To quote from the article, the new methodology was going to focus on memorizing, quote, endless lists of spelling facts and rules, which will not develop children's ability to think, including problem solving, critical understanding, and creativity. In short, the problem with this new proposed curriculum was that people were being told what they should learn, what they should remember, and not thinking for themselves. The idea
That's
that
like, I feel like that's like all education right now.
Well, yeah.
Like when you're especially in high school, like
You're
government-
told what to think, what to learn.
Yeah, the government teaches you what they want you to learn. You know what I'm saying? That's like,
I completely agree.
yeah, social studies. That's why I didn't really like social studies, because there's so much of like history out there that we should be learning other than what the government wants us to learn. Like it's crazy. It's like manipulation at its finest.
Oh, I completely agree.
Yep.
Completely agree.
memory is being dictated by someone else, an external force. So again, just like with the previous photo, we see the recurring theme of memory and control, how memories get inserted into our heads and how they stick there. And this may be me interpreting the picture a bit too literally, but in the edited version of the photo, the chalkboard has the generation loss symbol on it. They're teaching the children about this regime, whatever this altered history and facts are. These kids are being raised to believe that truth, not develop critical thinking for themselves to find the facts on their own.
So it sounds like maybe this government at that time is teaching them false truths, false histories, because they didn't experience it. So whatever they're being taught, they're going to believe. Is that what you're getting to?
No, oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Boom! Problem solved.
The Independent isn't the only newspaper that seems to have importance in this mystery either. The second one comes.
How does this correlate with RANBOO?
So here's something too, though. I don't know if this ARG necessarily correlates to RANBOO. Like, I think Generation Lost might be its own ARG. Like, he created the ARG, but the ARG is not about him.
Okay.
Where, like, Wilbur's ARG was about him.
Right. That's why I was getting confused. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
And I could be wrong.
Okay.
Because, again, I don't know much about this, but that is my takeaway at this moment, is it has nothing at all to do about RANBOO except he created it.
Okay.
And I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
So why did he create it?
Just to create an ARG.
Nice.
I think. But maybe this is something, maybe his great grandfather is Van Helmer Van Voot from Leipzig. I don't know.
It's probably one of
I might have said great one too many times though.
I should have said it 9 times.
Okay. 9?
Yeah, because that's how many
9?
photos.
Comes from this
Remember the
image, an
beginning,
old
9
painting with
photos?
the face once again censored by a red
5.
square. This was a painting of Richard Potter, a British businessman turned politician and writer for one of Britain's biggest newspapers, The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper was actually born out of a desire to push the liberal ideas of a group called the Little Circle, a group with good old Richard Potter as a founding member. This group's main objective was to get fair representation in government, which at the time was controlled by an elite few due to corruption in the English Parliament. In fact, government corruption was such a big issue in this era that on August 16, 1819, a crowd gathered in St. Peter's Field in Manchester, England to protest for parliamentary reform. To stop the protesters, the Royal Cavalry charged into the crowd and ultimately killed 15 people.
Oh, wow.
This horrible event would come to be known as the Peterloo massacre. Making matters worse, after this event, the government passed the
Not necessarily theory. I think I kind of am figuring out where this is going. I bet the English government parliament or whatever then in history is reteaching this event differently.
Ooh.
So maybe this is going to be about the 15. So maybe this is like out of those 15 people who died, like their great grandson or daughter is talking about this. Like, remember my great grandfather who died in this. But the government saying it never happened.
Right. Brainwash.
Think about it.
Brainwash. That's crazy.
6 Acts, a move that was aimed at suppressing any meeting about radical reform. Now, why would any of this matter? Well, the place where that massacre happened, St. Peter's Field, it doesn't exist anymore. It's now paved over and has been rebranded as St. Peter's Square. Remember that other title RANBOO was considering for the ARG, Lost Field Incident No. 1? Considering that St. Peter's Field, where the whole Peterloo massacre occurred, is now gone, I suppose you could call that a Lost Field Incident. But even more interesting, when the people of the UK wanted recognition of what happened on this site, the first plaque that the government issued read as follows, quote, an assembly of around 60,000 people. Their subsequent dispersal by the military is remembered as Peterloo. They called charging at protesters and killing 15 of them a dispersal. Are you seeing the connections now? Another image referencing the manipulation of people's memories of events that have happened. The plaque is exactly that. And the fact that the government changed the laws to stop people like Richard Potter from gathering the masses to their cause seems to match the ideas that we've been seeing so far throughout this entire video. This then starts to explain the first major image that we see. A man with his mouth being covered by a hand with the generation loss symbol on it. Someone being silenced by whatever generation loss is. Who this person is clearly important, as we're specifically given the initials from his pocket handkerchief. Looks to be TZ or Jay-Z. Not Jay-Z international rap superstar, though. That would be an unexpected
Come
twist.
on
No,
now.
Instead, after digging through a bunch of United Kingdom-based newspaper history, I think it might be referencing journalist Tony Zapponi, TZ. Tony has been a contributor to The Guardian in the past, but was mostly known as a photographer. In fact, his pictures of former President John F. Kennedy taken 4 days before the JFK assassination were important pieces of evidence in that investigation. Considering that that's an event that also has its fair share of crazy theories, I wouldn't be surprised if TZ and that event were all wrapped up into this ARG. Admittedly, it's a huge stab and a half in the dark. The initials are really the only thing that I had to go off of, but honestly, it's the best I could come up with that also fit within the existing themes that I'm getting from this mystery. history. Regardless of who
we
he is,
got
though,
you,
the
Matt.
fact
You
that the
good?
generation
Keep
loss
going.
symbol is the one covering TZ's mouth is telling us that generation loss are the ones trying to control the narrative, and not in a good way. But importantly, the tape is telling us don't conform, like a rebel group trying to communicate with its members. Learn the history would imply that the history that people
true
of this world
history.
know isn't the real history, but a history that's been altered. We even see this at the very end of the tape. As I mentioned before, we have the phrase "find the founder," which is temporarily replaced with a new phrase, "kill the founder." The word "kill" appearing in a different red font. Someone has sabotaged the tape, and the color red connects it back to the red logo of Generation Loss. In short, this seems like it's a battle between two groups. Generation Loss, an organization or entity that's trying to silence free thinkers and control the narrative of history, and another group that stands for remembering the truth. One group seeking the truth, and another one trying to silence it or bury it with misinformation. However, that still leaves us with one final image. This one. Of course, I did a reverse image search only to find that this picture is of the one and only Mitt Romney, a Republican U.S. senator who ran
What?
for president twice, first in 2008 and again in 2012. This picture is actually from his high school yearbook. Super random, right? We have 5 photos that are supposed to represent this mystery. 4 of them are much older and have to do with
Dude, what does Mitt Romney, like, this other stuff's from the 40s and 70s. Like, what does Mitt Romney have? When did Mitt Romney go to high school, though? Because he's old. He's like old.
Yeah.
80 maybe? 80s? I'm guessing? Late 70s, 80s?
Yeah, and the one thing I want to say, think about it, guys. If you have to hide something, that means you know you did something wrong. Because why would
for
you
sure.
want to hide something if you didn't do anything wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Because they're just murdering peeps.
Exactly. Like, there's already something just not right about this.
Super sus.
psychology,
Very sus.
uprisings around reform, education. What on earth does any of this have to do with the modern politician Mitt Romney? I wasn't particularly sure until I looked at the Generation Lost Twitter account, that is. On the 14th of May, it posted an image on a static screen with the number 2 on it. The caption says, "To the inauguration," and that's when it hit me. This high school photo of Mitt Romney was used widely during his run for president back in 2012. The story that broke around this was that he was a rather nasty piece of work back during his high school years, bullying a fellow student relentlessly. This, along with a number of other things, became a huge smear to his presidential campaign. But on this VHS tape, the image is once again obscured by red bars, trying to stop people recognizing the face and learning where the photo came from and why. It seems to me to be another attempt to control the narrative, to
forget high
distort
school.
the history, allowing Generation Lost
was.
to continue with their plans. Romney was running as the Republican candidate against Barack Obama in 2012, and we've been talking a lot about the silencing of liberal figures throughout this ARG thus far. The fact that part 2 is called The Inauguration makes me wonder if this is an alternate reality situation, one where Romney's past actions are buried by Generation Loss, and he is actually the one elected president in this reality.
But here's my question, though, too. So what, other than just, like, specific events in history trying to get, like, blocked out or erased, what does Mitt Romney have anything at all to do with the people back in the 50s getting dispersed, murdered? You know, like, how do those two incidences correlate? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty fly, though.
Yeah. This guy.
What would be the larger goal in doing this? Honestly, not sure. Might need more than 28 seconds of video to
I was gonna say real quick, just to feed off what you just said. Do you think maybe it's because of his ancestors?
Mitts?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if there was.
but
When was that first event? Didn't they say it was like in 1940 or something?
18.
Was it in 1870?
The first event was 1870 something. I don't know. I'm not on the top of my head. But the
I wonder-
second one was 1940 something. But it was 19.
The event that was dispersed, was that in the 18s or was that 19? I thought that was in 19s, wasn't it?
19, yeah.
So I don't know if that'd be his
The
ancestors
18
then.
something was the classroom or something.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
right. That's right.
18
That's right.
something. But yeah, that's crazy. I don't know.
Maybe we got it, because again, he said this. There's one video out, so we're still waiting. RANBOO's going to put more out, so maybe hopefully
Shoo.
we get more than 28 seconds.
figure it out. But there is
Maybe we
one
get
last
29.
piece of information that I wanted to mention. Whatever's happening with
up.
Generation Lost in the VHS tape, it's not the present day. Before RANBOO even released the first video, on his Discord, he released an audio teaser. It's a recording of a phone call where someone has found a box of old VHS tapes.
The box looks pretty new, actually. So it looks like it was like just put in here, like what, like 5 years ago I'd give it. Well, yeah, of course I'm going to play them. I just have to figure out how to use a cassette tape.
Once again, making me feel old as heck. Oh, you poor Zoomers and your streaming services, never having to know the phrase,
How do
"Please
you
be
use
kind,
this thing?
How do you
rewind."
use
But this
it,
teaser
bro?
actually reminds me of an image that appears over on Twitter. A VHS tape on the desk. Someone is investigating generation loss, trying to figure out what's going on, just like we are now. The story is actually following their journey. We're essentially being put in their shoes while we watch and break down these videos. On that desk, we also have the date November 4th, 1990, along with a comic strip from Malcolm Hancock's The Lumpets. Clearly, these are going to be important for the investigation, but I couldn't find any relevant information about the date or the comic. Maybe we'll find out more in future episodes. So there you have it, friends. A story of a rebel group trying to rise up to take on the generation loss
So
conspiracy.
he's taking a stab at
Rising
this
from the same
early.
ideals of Richard Potter and the Little Circle, determined to teach people the truth, to open their eyes to what the government is really doing. The rise to power of this controlling organization, their alteration of history and manipulation of society. And all of it tied up in an investigation from the modern day where maybe generation loss is still in control. All of that from a 28-second video. A really solid start to
Hey,
what I
that's
expect to
just a
be
theory.
a really exciting ARG. Your move, RANBOO. Part 2 is teased as coming soon. Regardless of whether I'm right or wrong, I seriously cannot wait to see what you do next. But remember, it's all just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
Let's go! Is there anything else? Oh, hold on.
That was nice.
Hold on.
Yo, I mean, this conspiracy theories, well, game theories are very interesting. Oh, no, you gotta wait.
Oh, okay, maybe there's not. I thought there's something else.
Yeah, same here. Is there not?
Nope. Okay, Mr. Beard. So that is your introduction to game theory.
Yeah.
Matt Pat.
Yeah.
Matt Pat, like I said, I really enjoy his videos because he just does as you can see, a very like deep and detailed dive into this. They do the research. The fact that they found those photos, dude, from the 1940, like the real photos. I mean, that was pretty impressive. I was impressed.
Yeah, no, it's impressive for sure.
I'm very interested to see where RANBOO goes with this, though. Like, I think Matt Pat did a great job of kind of connecting some dots that I know I would have never have found, B, have known if it wasn't for this. But still, like, this ARG is nowhere near being solved, like nowhere close. We don't know anything other than maybe a little more detailed into those two events.
Right.
But how does Mitt Romney connect to these people being slaughtered by the British army dispersed and this generation loss? Like, is this a branch of government? And another thing too, though, to think is this generation loss, one thing's in Britain and one thing is in the US. So
Yeah.
is this a world, like a secret world government agency that's like affecting world history for certain reasons, you know?
I 100%. 100%. I feel like, you know, definitely the government,
So like Men in Black, it's a world.
Yeah, like there's a gray area where they don't want us to know things. Absolutely. Like there's things that's being deleted every day, like history, like this is being manipulated, like, you know what I'm saying? So RANBOO, just be careful, because there are people out here that don't want you to learn things. So whatever you do, whatever you bring up, just be careful, because people are out here watching on the internet, you know. So like, it's just scary to think about, but at the same time, we do have a dark web.
We do.
We have a dark web. So it's like, you know, there's
stuff out there
that people like that you don't want, like people just don't want us to know things. And man, attention is being brought every angle. So
right. Well, Mr. Beard, thank you so much for stopping by for this reaction.
Yes.
Guys, make sure you help support Curtis. He has a
crazy.
YouTube channel as well. Go subscribe to his channel.
Please, we are lit on the channel, CurtisBeard family, CV Warriors. We've been through a lot this year, but we are still standing and never better. Please join the family. Yeah, man, thank you for inviting us too, man. Game theory is hot.
And yes, and we got some more content we're gonna be coming out with, so keep your eye open for that. And if you enjoyed my reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button.
Do that.
It's absolutely free and it greatly helps out the channel. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and remember, it's eat, sleep, and make beats, and as usual, be kind to one another. And that's all I got. Boom! I'm out. Got no more love for the Sauce Gang and CB family.
I want to say that.
Boom!
I want to say that. Boom! Comment below for the sauce gang. Did I say it right?
Close. It was good. It was good. Peace out, fam. Have a good weekend. Love you guys.
What's up, guys?